That was quite the speech, wasn't it?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're taking a look at the reactions pouring in on social media after President Trump's recent State of the Union address. As soon as the speech ended, creators across the platform jumped in to share their thoughts, breakdowns, critiques, and emotional responses. Supporters praised key policy points, while critics questioned some statements. The internet has a lot to say. Some reactions are thoughtful and analytical, others are raw, passionate, and completely unfiltered. In this video, we'll address some of the reactions that are getting the most attention and sparking the biggest conversations. No matter your political views, one thing is clear. This speech has people talking. Let's get into it. And if you enjoy commentary and social media reaction content like this, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Okay, so I just finished watching Trump's State of the Union, and here are my thoughts. It was theatrical. It was at times funny. It was impressive if it was an audition to host The Price is Right or something, but it was ultimately filled with lies, distortions, and exaggerations, and most of all, it was filled with ironies. And here are some ironies that stood out to me. Trump called for a ban on lawmakers' stock trading in Congress, despite the Trump family making over $4 billion with the presidency year to date. Trump asked Democrats to stand if they believe America's foremost job is to protect American citizens, while his government rips mothers from their children and murders American citizens in the streets. Trump said it's the best economy in history, despite a frozen jobs market and sky-high cost of living. Trump said he's making housing prices more affordable, but in the same breath promised homeowners prices will remain at all-time highs. Trump said he obliterated Iran's nuclear capabilities with Operation Midnight Hammer, but is planning an invasion into Iran to obliterate their nuclear capabilities. Trump said grocery prices are down, but they're up 3% from last year. Trump said the war in Ukraine never would have happened if he were president, and yet the war rages on a year plus into his presidency. Trump said the foreign countries paid for tariffs, but in fact, the tariffs cost each American household $1,800 on average. I could keep going, but let's talk about some things Trump didn't say in the speech. He never mentioned the Epstein files. He never offered a genuine justification for a potential invasion into Iran. He never addressed wages, extreme income inequality, the job market, AI, mass layoffs, or laid out a plan to help the American worker and bring down costs. And look, this isn't about Democrat or Republican, left or right. I do not identify with any party. I'm not stumping for a certain agenda here. I think there are good arguments to be made all across the political spectrum. I have plenty of respect for Republicans, Democrats, independents, etc. But, you got to be able to call a spade. And what we saw today transcended ideology and difference of opinion. It was a con job from one of the greatest con men to ever live.
Justice Amy Coney Barrett. This is the look she was giving Donald Trump while he was on stage bashing her and the other justices who ruled against him on those tariffs. Now, Barrett and Neil Gorsuch, they were both appointed by Donald Trump in his first term. And they, along with Chief Justice Roberts, joined the liberal justices to slap those tariffs down. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump was totally rattled as he was trying to get that out. And they were giving him the death stare. Woo! This State of the Union, ladies and gentlemen, is honestly a huge L, a huge disaster for Donald Trump and MAGA. You can't go after the Supreme Court justices like this and not expect anything else to come your way. This does not show Donald Trump is strong. This actually shows that he is very, very weak, ladies and gentlemen. I've never, ever seen anything like this before.
I sat through the entire State of the Union, so you didn't have to. Let's fact check it.
I believe the tariffs paid for by foreign countries.
False. More than 90% of Donald Trump's tariffs were paid by American consumers and businesses in 2025, which amounted to approximately $1,000 per household being paid.
And in 1 year, we have lifted 2.4 million Americans, a record, off of food stamps.
False. They weren't lifted out of poverty. They were kicked off of their benefits when you took $187 billion worth of SNAP benefits from them in the big, beautiful bill.
The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens.
what I can say for sure is Donald Trump is not going to take no for an answer.
First truth spoken all night.
Washington, D.C., where we have almost no crime.
So false that I only need one DC criminal to prove my point. A 34-time convicted felon occupies the People's House after trying to overthrow the government. His own stacked Supreme Court ruled his tariffs are unconstitutional. He continues to carry out extrajudicial killings in the Caribbean and also accepts $500 million bribes from spy sheiks to sell out American tech. And oh, by the way, he was credibly accused of sexually assaulting a minor, a witness taken so seriously they were interviewed 4 times by the FBI, and whose accusations and testimony are currently being buried by his Department of Justice.
So State of the Union 2026 is over. Let's talk about some of the immigration claims that were made. And let's fact check some of them. So one of the things that Trump said, that we will always allow people to come in legally. But the actions of the administration over the last year have indicated otherwise. From terminating lawful status for people who entered with humanitarian parole, immediately putting them in a no lawful status situation, to USCIS suspending and freezing the processing of all immigration applications for people from about 30 different countries, to the Department of State freezing and suspending green card applications for people from 75 different countries. All of those things make me think that the claim that we'll always allow people to come here legally just isn't the case. And then there's the claim that under Biden, millions and millions of people poured into the US from prisons, mental institutions, are murderers. Is that what he thinks asylum means? Because it doesn't. And statistics bear out time and again that immigrants commit crimes at rates far, far less than US-born citizens. To paint a broad brush that all immigrants come from prisons and mental institutions and are murderers, it's just fear-mongering. Trump also claimed that the first duty of the government is to protect the American people and not illegal aliens. The first duty of the government is to uphold the Constitution and the rights enshrined in the Constitution, and that includes rights which apply to all people located in the United States, not just U.S. citizens. And now for some bonus material, Virginia Governor Spanberger's Democratic response. She mentioned that immigration enforcement officers sending children to detention centers, ripping families apart, killing U.S. citizens, and doing that all while masked, that's not making our country safer. And she talked about the need for immigration reform, saying that the broken immigration system needs to be fixed. And I agree, but I have heard that line over and over and over and over again since I graduated from law school 18 years ago. The truth of the matter is, it's not going to happen unless it is politically expedient for it to happen. And for it to be politically expedient, our members in Congress need to hear from us as constituents that we want immigration reform. And it's incumbent upon us, the people that can vote, the people who do not have to live our lives in the shadows, to call our members of Congress, because the people who need immigration reform and who will benefit from it, they're not in a position to be able to do that. So it falls on us to be good neighbors and good citizens. And if you want to learn about immigration law and the process, or what potential reform might look like, make sure you're following me. And yes, my job as an immigration attorney is to represent my clients going through the process, but it's also to educate and advocate on behalf of my clients for a better system.